This woman would fit right in with the screaming, tantrum-throwing idiots you see on body and dashcam videos. The ones who get ejected from public places or put in police cars kicking and screaming as if their life depended on it. But this one isn't crying her way out of an arrest. She belongs to the Star Wars fandom, and she throws a screaming fit over her drug-ligion of choice, Star Wars.
I hate the way you're treating me. I didn't mean to insult you. I was just really angry. I don't want to give up Star Wars and I shouldn't have to. The best you can ask for is for me not to talk about it when I'm around you, and I won't. Just give me another chance. Just give me another chance.
The way we were treating her. She never gave a damn how she treated us until she got so pushy and intrusive that we had to take breaks from chats that involved her to catch our breath. Then she panicked, whined, acted as if we'd just cut off her right arm. And Dad excused that she was just angry, so we should just let her go around insulting us when she gets angry over nothing? She didn't care if she insulted anyone. She just did it.
We never forced her to give up Star Wars, and she never kept her word. She broke my trust too many times. She also said she'd stop spewing Star Wars into our chats, and then she kept doing it. So her claim she wouldn't do it anymore is bunk. All we were asking in the first place was for her to show consideration for us and other people and stop with the out-of-control Star Wars nonsense. She is in deep denial about being a Star Wars addict, which is what she is. Otherwise, she wouldn't have fought to keep us under her control as a captive audience for her Star Wars. A normal adult with a mere hobby or passion would knock it off around people who express annoyance by it. She got far more chances from us than she deserved. Then she twisted our saying no to Star Wars into,
"They're forcing me to give up Star Wars and all my Star Wars toys."
What she did was make it very clear that she values Star Wars far above real humanity. She never agreed to stop spewing Star Wars at us. She only claims she did. Instead of simply saying, "I'm sorry for annoying you, it won't happen again," she always added dismissive qualifiers like this. "Okay, I won't talk about Star Wars in this chat, but I got other groups and friends I can talk about Star Wars to." That translated to, "Screw you, I don't need you. I can get my Star Wars fix elsewhere. I care more about offending Star Wars itself than taking you into consideration."
It's not the thing itself that drives everyone crazy. It's the obsessive compulsiveness. It's the obsessive behavior. That's what my mom's been trying to tell you.
Right. She'd say anything to stop people from disliking Star Wars and to get herself out of hot water. This is an insult to people who have OCD, who do not act like bratty narcissists. And what an evil thing to do to Ocean, rubbing it in that Ocean's mom is dead and the Star Wars nut can still talk to her mom. Her mom accused us of teenaged drama when this Star Wars brat started it and did everything she could to keep it going when we tried many times over half a damn year to shut it down. Ocean and Alyssa and me were not doing well in 2023. We all lost loved ones in 2021 and 2022, and we just weren't willing to baby the Star Wars brat and stay stuck as living toys in her sad fantasy world anymore. We had our own serious, real-life things to deal with. We had real loved ones' losses to grieve. And she was crying over Star Wars!
You're forcing me to get rid of my Star Wars toys. What am I going to do? I'm just going to sit here and cry because I don't have no one to play Star Wars with.
Get over it.
She's been trying to give you tips on how to handle me.
Why should we listen to somebody who doesn't give a damn about us? Oh, well, that's just how she is, and you just talk to her, and all of a sudden if she starts talking about Star Wars, you just say, "No, we won't talk about Star Wars today." So basically, no Star Wars today, remember? And we're supposed to expect to go through that every single day? No, we did not sign up for that. Besides, she's got a freakish memory. She can remember the year and the date of the month that she got some toy, or every spat she had with some ex-friend. If she can remember all of those things, along with a whole bunch of Star Wars quotes, then she can certainly remember who does not like Star Wars and does not welcome it. And yes, she has also used that excuse. I forget sometimes when I get all excited, I forget that you don't want Star Wars. Bull crap! She's just an expert at pressing her luck and hoping everybody else forgets. Narcissists are pros at copping out of responsibility. And she did that a lot. If she didn't want to talk about something, she would go, I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. Or she would go, I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered. And she was very proud of that.
Tips on how to handle her. What is she, a fire extinguisher? People don't come with instruction manuals. A temperamental parrot? Oh no, she's a tiger. The kind that when you stop feeding her, she'll try to eat you. If her mom was really interested in giving us so-called tips, she would have done so at the start, just as we were getting acquainted. Not wait until her near middle-aged daughter suddenly flipped out because we weren't running circles around her anymore, and she started kicking up huge fusses about it. She sent this tantrum on Easter Sunday, 2023, because she got herself removed from some chat groups for Star Warsing Ocean the night before. And she knew damn well Star Wars was not welcome since the past fall. She expected Ocean to let her get away with it because it was Easter? It was the first Easter after Ocean's mom's death, so she was still terribly broken up over that. She and I had every right to finally give the Star Wars fangirl some consequences for her continuing selfish, defiant behavior. I had already taken down my chat group since only the three of us were in there, and the Star Wars nut had offended me and Ocean so badly with even more condescending, pushy behavior that I saw no reason to keep the chat going. Then Ocean removed her from her chat groups after getting blasted with a toy lightsaber over FaceTime on Easter Saturday night. Ocean didn't listen to the tantrum past that point for another year. But I did. It was just wretched. Oh, but she wanted us to get over our loved ones, just so we might reset and return to doing Star Wars with her. And when we didn't comply, she boiled that down to a petty power struggle she kept starting that we never asked for. Heartless.
But you want to do things your way. You don't want to listen to a woman who's known me for 37 fucking years. This woman knows me better than I know myself.
That whole your way or my way thing is so unbelievably childish. And there she went again, rubbing it in that her own mom was still around and Ocean's is not. If she hadn't been so psychologically abusive toward Ocean ever since she couldn't Star Wars her anymore, I might think she was just being incredibly thoughtless. But no, this was malice. She couldn't make Ocean comply, give in, and go back to Star Wars. She also couldn't be Ocean's hero or savior. She needed Ocean far more than Ocean ever needed her, and that's something else she can't stand. She even tried to exclude me in messages she sent Ocean in our group chats. It wasn't so much what she said, but how she said it. As if she wanted to be the one and only in Ocean's life so they could Star Wars into oblivion while everyone sang the Star Wars girls' praises for making Ocean all better. It didn't turn out that way. Ocean had to stay off her phone for long periods just to get away from her. Meantime, Alyssa and I were very concerned because we knew Ocean was not okay. When Ocean came back online, she reached out to us more and tried to keep the Star Wars fan at bay. Star Wars nut must have suspected she was losing Ocean and figured if she couldn't have her, no one else should either. So she tried punishing Ocean with the silent treatment and isolation next. That didn't work. Ocean didn't chase after her, and I got the terrible clingy treatment as Ocean's replacement until I put a stop to it and to the Star Wars supply on my end. Alyssa confided in us that she was being hit with Star Wars next, and she didn't want it. But she was afraid of losing her as a friend at that time. But she also knew deep down that the Star Wars freak was just using her and tried splitting her from us with guilt trips, calling her friendship into question and accusing us ganging up. That was a lie. None of us wanted any more Star Wars or exceedingly babyish behavior from that chick, and she was being horrible considering our situations. So since we weren't letting her dominate us or her deliberately inconsiderate behavior slide on Easter, she figured she was entitled to make Ocean's Easter even more miserable than it already was. And she had the nerve to say that we were being unfair.
I'm just so angry. It's really not fair for you to force me to choose between something I enjoy and my friends. I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to do that at all.
So she was allowed to choose, but we were not. Here's a little of what I said to her.
If you want to enjoy Star Wars in your own time on your own, that's fine. But you don't have the right to force it on the rest of us. I want to enjoy what I enjoy. Okay, fine. Go ahead, enjoy it, but you're on your own. Did you really give that much of a damn about any of us? Really? No, until you shape up, I'm shipping out. You really blew it this time. I knew you must have hated me because I won't let you Star Wars us. So that is when your hate kicked into gear and you decided to punish us and try to Star Wars all over us anyway. And you decided to try and sneak it in whenever you could. It's not going to work, honey.
What really wasn't fair is how she treated me for years. As long as I did what she wanted, she was friends. When I didn't want to do what she told me, she walked away. She also trashed me to other people. I'm glad they didn't believe her, but it still hurt learning about it. I'm sorry I stayed in that worthless, toxic relationship as long as I did.
I'm sorry if it made you angry, and I'm sorry if it hurt you, but that's how I'm feeling.
I'm sorry if is not a real apology. It's a cop-out and a mind game. She's basically saying, I'm not the problem, you are. I'm sorry you feel that way, puts the blame on me. Then she doubles down with, but this is how I'm feeling. So my feelings aren't important, but hers are really important. That's typical narcissism. And this is one of their gaslighting techniques. There were a lot of reasons why I couldn't confide in her anymore. But I let her walk all over me for 4.5 years, or almost 4.5 years. I started setting boundaries in the last year, and she didn't take to that very well. She acted as if she wanted to replace the memory of my mom, wash her out of my life, and replace her with herself and Star Wars. One time before my mom had passed, something happened that upset me, and the Star Wars girl said, I miss my elf and I want her back. So I was like, okay, I'll put on a happy face and make you feel better. So I did that. I wasn't really happy, I wasn't really better, but I humored her. And then after that, she thought that she could say stuff like that all the time, every time I got upset. So when my mom passed, she would try to stop me from being upset by saying things like, I miss my elf and I want her back. Oh, screw that. There was no way one of her stupid little Rolodex catchphrases, whatever in her head, was going to cheer me up and put me in a better mood.
let alone putting on an album of some sort. I was really depressed. I was not just in a funk. I needed to heal, and I needed time alone for that. I also needed to go to some real supportive friends who actually cared. This one did not, and she proved this beyond a shadow of a doubt before, during, and after the tantrum. I should have set firm boundaries right from the start. Mind you, I didn't know what I was getting into. I had no idea that this person was so clingy and so shallow. I let her get away with far too much for far too long, and I was way too nice to her. I should have run like heck at the very first sign of trouble. And the first sign was that she was an Anakin fangirl. I don't understand, and I don't like these fangirls that go crazy over characters that commit torture and murder. And I hate the whole Vader redemption arc. So there was that, but there were a bunch of other things too. She just gave off all kinds of mixed signals, all sorts of things just didn't jive. She would say, "I love you," but then she just would flake out and not care about anything unless it was something that had to do with her. She was clingy, not loving. And she complained to me about other people who were clingy. In my head, I would go, yeah, maybe look at yourself in the mirror. Of course, I didn't tell her that because I didn't want to hurt her feelings. My bad. But it takes you a while to realize what a person is actually like. It happens over time. And hindsight's always 20/20.
I don't think right when I'm angry.
Who does think right when they're angry? What's her excuse the rest of the time?
My adrenaline is pumping really high right now, and I'm under a lot of stress.
If I had listened to that damn message up to that point, I would have cussed her out and told her to get out of my life for good.
Ocean would have had every right to cuss her out and throw her out of her life. Of course, the Star Wars nuts adrenaline was running high. It always did. The stress she claimed to be under was her own fault for Star Warsing Alyssa and then Ocean all within Holy Week and getting herself removed from some chats. But that so-called stress was nothing compared to Ocean's sadness of experiencing the first Easter without her mom. I didn't understand why Ocean hadn't cut ties with her immediately after this, until Ocean told me she had not listened to that heartless, self-centered tantrum past the usual excuse-making. It was a big relief when Ocean and Alyssa finally saw her for the shallow brat she is and said they would never take her back. And that's not all. The Star Wars freak kept trying to make Ocean feel bad for making her cry with this load of crocodile tears bullshit that so many criminals do when they get arrested.
I can't breathe. I can't fucking breathe right now. I'm crying so hard I can't breathe.
Sitting there and doing the I can't breathe. No.
If a person can do that and scream like mad and go, they can definitely breathe.
Here's Ocean in a WhatsApp chat message after she tried to explain what was going on with the Star Wars nut and why she had to be removed. She couldn't take any more of her fighting, breaking the rules, general attention-seeking obnoxiousness, and had to do something about it. But when Ocean really broke down, I knew the Star Wars girl was just adding even more unnecessary stress to the heartbreak of Ocean missing her mom. This is what happens when you genuinely struggle to breathe from crying hard. Ocean didn't try to make us focus on her and the fact she was crying. She just ended up crying while trying to tell us what the problem was. Ocean and I shed a lot of tears that year over her mom and my granny and grandpa, but the Star Wars girl was not sympathetic. She actually told me to don't get all teary-eyed on me now during a FaceTime call. On another call, she tried to shut Ocean up By putting on some music, she acted as if simply putting on a CD would just make Ocean stop sobbing and cheer up, like giving a baby a pacifier or giving a dog a piece of meat. I was on that call, and I gave her a telling off about it. Not that it did any good. She just does whatever she wants, regardless of how she makes others feel. Ocean told me she could barely be civil toward the Star Wars girl after that. But whenever we had down moods or wanted to get serious with the Star Wars girl about her behavior, she turned on the faucet and went on about how she missed her dad, who has been gone more than half her life. She didn't act like she missed him the rest of the time when she role-played Star Wars, complained about other people from online drama or her past, or just wanted to go nuts over something else. And the Easter tantrum continues with this.
Look, if you give me another chance, I won't talk about Star Wars around the three of you. I'll keep it separate. Give me another chance.
Yeah, I won't talk about Star Wars with the three of you. Yeah, for now. Wait a few days. Maybe a week if you're lucky. She fought, broke her word so many times, she was out of chances. More to the point, she should have left me the hell alone!
Please, I'm begging you for mercy. Jesus Christ! Lord have mercy, help me.
Because when all else fails, just invoke the name of Jesus Christ. She wasn't praying, she was blaspheming.
The way I am is not my fault.
Right, because nothing is ever her fault. Then she went into all her excuses again. The reason she's acting this way is because this and that, and it runs in the family and all that stuff. That has nothing to do with the actual situation itself. She can focus on herself, but she doesn't want to focus on what she did wrong. Her family's medical history does not excuse her bratty behavior. This was just another cop-out and an attempt to manipulate me into feeling sorry enough for her to put her back on the chat groups. Then she went into this great big self-pity thing.
It's part of the ADD. I did ask the neurologist that question, and he said, yes, it does come with that. It's not easy living with ADD as an adult. It really isn't easy. It sucks. It really isn't easy.
Good grief! All this carrying on because she got herself removed from a couple of chat groups. Because she wouldn't stop being an entitled brat. ADD does not cause Star Wars addiction or extremely childish, obnoxious behavior in adults. Nor does her claim that it really sucks as an adult ring true. By her age, she should be used to it and able to manage it. Not like a child who's struggling and the family has to find out what the issue is and figure out which treatment is best.
Know what else sucks and isn't easy? Losing somebody you're really close to, and then getting bothered 24/7 by somebody who just wants to treat you like a living toy all the time. Or try this one. How about having ADD and then having a stroke, which means you have to relearn various things that you could do easily before? Just ask Elle's Reptiles about that. She has ADD, she had a stroke, and made an amazing recovery, and she doesn't act at all like the Star Wars girl. Now the Star Wars brat says something really laughable.
I'm just gonna wait you out. I'm just gonna wait you out. And when you're ready to talk, come find me. You know where I am.
Oh, that's rich. Her trying to wait me out is like a gnat trying to wait out the tide. When narcissists start feeling their control over someone slipping, one of their head games is trying to get the poor sap to chase after them. That's what she was threatening to do here, only she didn't realize I was not dependent on her for my well-being. Besides, she tried to wait me out once before, and she couldn't do it. Notice how controlling and bossy she is. When you're ready to talk, come find me. Every syllable out of her mouth is an attempt to control people. I had no intention of contacting her again after that Easter Sunday once the initial quarrel died down a little. Even after I straight up told her we needed to be apart and stop communicating for a while, she called me 3 days later. Awkward. I didn't think I would actually have to block her to get her to stop. When I said a while, I meant 3 weeks, not 3 days. So we did some chat, which felt really imposing and uncomfortable to me. And then she bragged about how angry she got on Easter Sunday. She was so mad that she went around slamming doors And her mommy asked her if she wanted to talk about it. Oh, gag. I figured she was emotionally quite stunted, but didn't realize it was to this extent. I had thought she would grow up and out of it eventually, if she had someone to be a friend. That's why I stuck it out for as long as this. But I just couldn't give any more after Mom passed. I was feeling exhausted by the Star Wars girl's imposition on me even before that. So something had to give, or I'd die inside or just go off my chump.
I can't. There are some things I can't control. My ADD I can't control. My dyslexia I can't control.
My dyslexia I can't control. My ADD I can't control.
Oh, for the love. What does dyslexia have to do with this? This was audio chat. Let's talk about some things that I can't control. I can't control the fact that I bleed when I get cut. I can't control that I sneeze when the sun's too bright. I can't control that I don't like certain foods and I love certain other kinds of foods. Who cares? Everybody has a lot about themselves that they can't control.
The thing with her is that she'd rather not control herself, but control everybody else.
I can try to control my obsessive behaviors, but sometimes they get out of hand and I don't know what to do.
Oh, yeah. You can try to control your obsessive behaviors. And sometimes they get out of hand. And you don't know what to do. That's a laugh. Oh. So you don't know what to do. So you obsess over Star Wars when... Oh, wow. I just can't even put into words how stupid that sounds. That is just lame.
She didn't try when she claimed she would. She'd always say, I'll try, or I'll do my best. But I was exposed to her long enough to realize those were just more empty promises designed to make people trust her without question so she could just not try and then call it her best. This girl planned to call her employer to see if the air conditioner was still broken, stating to me that if it wasn't fixed, she was just going to stay off work. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And like was said earlier, her perpetual dismissive attitude meant things had to be completely easy for her, or else she wasn't interested in working at it. When we brought up the problem with Star Wars, Cindy said she did not want empty promises of, I'll try. The Star Wars nurse response to that, oh, you're not going to believe this.
Do or do not. There is no try. Helping you, Cindy and Ocean are.
Ah, Yoda quote! A freaking Yoda quote! We just told her to knock off the Star Wars and the fake promises, and she immediately hit us with Yoda. Just how bloody stupid did she think we were? Oh, that's right. She believes she's the smartest, most influential, or we should think so, and everybody else is almost too stupid to exist without being impacted by her in some way. You know, I held out some hope that when she got her job, she would grow up and out of this obsession. But no! She FaceTimed me after work and bubbled over with stories about conversations she had with her coworkers or drivers to and from work. A couple subjects were about drama at work, but everything else was about Star Wars. She would say, my driver coming home tonight doesn't like the sequels either. Or so-and-so likes The Mandalorian too. She also told me about whatever Star Wars stuff she would or wanted to bring to her work. So when I confronted her that she had to be bringing it up all the time at her work, she tried to deny it. A professional gaslighter and dodger of responsibility. Well, you don't have to bring it up by talking. If you wear a Vader shirt and someone comments on it, you are still the one to introduce Star Wars into it. No signs of Star Wars on you, visual or audio. People aren't just going to come up to you and all start talking Star Wars. As ridiculous as that would be, I got the feeling she really wanted me to believe everyone else is as wackadoo cuckoo as she is about Star Wars. When I closed my roleplay group down and said I was finished with Star Wars, she couldn't accept it. First, she tried the sadness play.
I miss Shmi.
Shmi was one of the characters from the franchise who got roleplayed once in a while, a character I was sympathetic toward. I said to the girl that it was too bad because it was all off, no going back. Then she got frantic.
But what on our story? We still have to do Palpatine's trial.
I said it was all finito, and I meant it. I didn't want to argue with her anymore about it. But there were so many times she started fights over it and make me upset. Then she had the nerve to tell me to let it go and move forward. But her idea of letting go was simply me shutting up and continuing to do Star Wars with her forever. She started the fights, so she had no right telling me or Cindy or Lissa to forget about and move on. We had the right to shut it down, and we were not just going to pretend everything was fine like nothing happened. I even told her in so many words that the idea of doing anything Star Wars made me feel sick to my stomach. This was right after Mom's death. Just a few months before Cindy and I finally got our heads together to put no Star Wars in our group chat rules. Then we had to extend that to one-on-one chats as well. The girl just wouldn't stop. She always hoped we would change our minds in time. Fat chance then, no chance now. We hate Star Wars. Didn't think much of it in the first place, but this addicted fan caused us to utterly hate it for an eternity.